Rob, we're talking Facebook's acquisition of WhatsApp for $19 billion. Plenty of pixels have been spilt already on whether or not that valuation is insane. But here on Next, what we really just want to talk about is how actually do you value a deal like this?
Well, the only multiple, people valuing companies like to do division, right? And the only kind of division anybody can think of for this acquisition is taking the price and dividing it by the user base. So you get this $40 number. But it completely escapes me how you would think this ratio of price to users would actually be predictive of the future cash flows the business would bring in. Previous acquisitions, people say, oh, such and such a company bought YouTube at this many per user, or they bought this other company at that many per user. The question is whether the businesses went on to succeed. And that wasn't necessarily predicted by users to price. It was predicted by other factors. So I'm at a loss. Maybe you can do better.
I would actually use price to user. That's partly because, I see this deal as Facebook mostly paying in stock, right? And usually when companies mostly pay with overinflated, whisper it, stock,
Right.
it's usually meant to be earnings accretive.
Right.
And then, there are dilutive effects down the line, but that's the basic aim.
Yes.
Here it is different. It is user accretive.
Right.
And then
earnings dilutive.
Yeah.
Right.
But then they think, oh, earnings will come, down the line somewhere. Okay, I can understand that. What I don't understand, obviously, is whether $40 is going to be made back per user, however you cut it.
Right.
In terms of their
present value of the future users.
Yeah.
So maybe that's another way to address the question. You say, what are the ways this business could turn out to be worth it, right? So it's $1 a year now. They could up the price down the road.
I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't think many people are actually even paying the $1 a year at the moment, and they're not going to pay like $5 a year.
Right. Second way, you could supplement the payment stream with advertisement.
They've already said, they're not going to sell ads.
Okay. Third possibility, you take this business, its huge user base, its great popularity, somehow insulates the great business they already have selling ads on Facebook. Facebook churns out $1 billion or more a quarter of free cash flow. Somehow this protects that incredibly profitable business in a way that the $19 billion is a good investment in Facebook somehow. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, because you're talking about a walled garden there, and I think that's
Right.
kind of what Mark Zuckerberg is kind of aiming for. Like you say, protecting Facebook now that it's at the 10-year point, which is old
Right.
for a company
Right.
of this in this sector. The question is whether what WhatsApp is bringing over the moat is really going to protect.
Right. The
business
fact that I'm
inside.
using WhatsApp, can an interface or an interconnection be designed between WhatsApp and Facebook that keeps me using Facebook, that keeps me using Facebook's other features in a way that I'm looking ads and generating revenues and paying fees and so forth and so on?
Yeah, there may be like single sign-ins or something, tighter integration. But I mean, we could talk about that all day. And ultimately, we just really scratched the surface of trying to value this deal.
Yeah.
So thanks, Rob.
Sure.